Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Transformers X Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Party Wallop, the crossover between the two franchises. And I don't actually know if there have been Transformers and Ninja Turtles crossovers before. Seems kind of like a logical thing to do, especially with a character such as Donatello in the mix. It seems just like a, normal thing to do, but this might actually be the first crossover between the two. And yeah, here we have Party Wallop, who is all four turtles into one, and I love that. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves, because first let's take a look at the big boy. Now then, he looks really nice. He's got the classic turtle face right there, the weird one that no one really can replicate, but also maskless, as Party Wallop is supposed to be. He also has some nice these things, which I don't know what they're supposed to be. I do like the design of this thing a lot. Also, he can roll on his wheels. Because I forgot to fold them in. The wheels are supposed to be folded in. But anyway, he looks very nice. The nice yellow and green, kind of the Ninja Turtle classic coloration. Love that stuff. I even like how the front here has that teeth thing as well. Also, this thing here can come out, but I'm not gonna pull it out. And then here we have the feet, the nice turtle feet that the turtles usually have. In the instructions, actually, it looks like the bottom of these feet are also supposed to be green. When I was transforming this guy anyway. That is not the case on the actual figure, so there you go. Then this is what he looks like from the back. And I know he's got a bit of a backpack, but let us be honest here. Does that really matter? It's a turtle. Of course he's gonna have a turtle shell. By the way, the spoiler can be pulled off, but I like to keep it on because, that is where it's supposed to go. However, you can actually pull it off and plug it right here into his arm if you want to. I am not going to, but now I can officially say I have showed it off. And in order to put it in, you need to get these things, these, bits of plastic through these sliders here. So just align it and then you can plug it in. There you go. But overall, he is a very nice looking figure. But this is not why we are here, of course not. We are not here for the walloping of the parties. We are here for Ninja Turtle action. So, without any further ado, let us move him off to the side so we can look at the accessories that he comes with. Starting off, he comes with headbands, boys. What kind of headbands? He comes with headbands in order to turn himself into any of the four Ninja Turtles, which I kind of feel like is Hasbro's way of saying buy 4 of these, if not 5 of these, in order to have all of the turtles. They keep forgetting about Venus. Such a shame. Anyway, but yeah, buy 4 of them so you can have all 4 of the turtles standing next to each other. Sorry, Hasbro, but that is never gonna happen. Alright? But that's not all, because also he comes with accessories. Starting off, he comes with this thing, which is not really anything important. Also entirely out of focus. Get out of here. There you go. But he comes with like this, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it plugs in right here at the top of the back of the Party Walloper. But I thought I'd pull it off and show that it is actually an accessory that you can use like that. But then afterwards, he comes with 2 swords to be Leonardo, a fold-away stick in order for Donatello to be able to wield his weapon, a couple of nunchucks on chains for Michelangelo, and finally, a couple of sais for the boy Raphael. However, how do you change this guy from one to the other? Well, simple. You come over here, and you pull off his head right here from the side, like so. And then what you do is you grab yourself one of them and you can put it on. And then afterwards it just becomes as easy as attaching the weapon. Also, you can take this thing off right here. And then if you open up this piece down here, you actually have a slider for each of the turtles. So here we have Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and the one who works best for this kind of face, the boy Raphael himself. Like I already said, my personal favorite. I love this feature. The fact that they were able to do this. I mean, they could have easily just sold you 5 of these idiots, but they decided to include it all in one package. You get so many accessories. with this guy. Look at all this stuff, plus the extra stuff. But like, you still get so much stuff. And if you want to have this thing still displayed on him, in here, as you can see, there is a thing that you need to fold out. Right there, so that you can just take this and plug it into his arm, and he can have kind of like a shield thing going on, so it all can still store on him. Speaking of which, let me move this bad boy off to the side, because where do you store all the stuff that you do not need for him if you have him as a specific turtle, or as, you know, Party Wallop? Well, he can store everything without it really being seen, except for two things. Two parts of him will be, well, two things will be seen. So starting off, let's start off with the easy one, and that is opening up his shoulder pads. And in here, as you can see, there are openings for the nunchucks to be placed inside. So you can just take the nunchuck, one of them here, the other one here, and hide the nunchuck away like it was never even there. There we go. Nunchucks are gone. And then we come to his shell or his backpack, which I will have that I do have an issue with, and I will talk about it later. But you want to unfold. Let's get these cannons folded up a bit more so we can get a little bit more foldage. And under here, as you can see, there is a gap, especially if you open up this. So what you can do here is you can fold up the stick, and then here we have an opening that this long thing is gonna slide straight into, and then you can take two of these faces, one face here, and you have 4 holes. You can just take it and plug it into each of the holes where it's needed, like so. And then you can close this bad boy back up. Close this bad boy back up, get it back into position, which I have an issue with. Alright, you know what? I'll say it right now. These tabs back here are supposed to tab into these 2 slots. They don't. They don't tab in at all. They just come undone so easily. And then the sides, actually on the sides here, have slots that can actually be tabbed in right here on the wheel thing. So you can store them there. And then finally, where do swords go? But on the back. Again, already untabbed. But as you can see right here, there is a slot with the tab on the sword itself. Can slide straight into. And do that same thing on the other side. There you go. And everything stores away all neatly. And I love that. I love the fact that you can just store it all away and it's barely really even noticeable. Especially these things, like under the shoulder pads where you put the nunchucks. I don't know why, but that is so genius. Now then, let us move straight then to the next thing, which is the articulation segment. So, his head can rotate all the way around, and because of transformation, you can actually have him look up as well. Further up, because you can actually push his head in if you want to. So he has some good articulation there. Then after that, his arms can do technically a full 360. However, these 2 pieces here will get in the way, sadly enough. Then his shoulder pad can go out and can rotate, also for transformation, but still can rotate, but can move all the way out the way. For the arm, out and in. You have a swivel down here, you have an elbow bend, and the hand can actually move in a little bit because of transformation, but still can be used nonetheless. Then he also has a waist rotation and a sword that falls off. His, let's move everything here out of the way. His legs can go forward, about that far, backwards. Yeah, pretty far, especially if you move the backpack out of the way. Then you can move this out of the way for some in and out action, technically. Sadly enough, these 2 are connected to each other, so it will come down. It's not, it doesn't have to if you hold it, but you do have to hold it. Then you got a swivel, a nice good looking knee bend, and an ankle tilt as well. Plus maybe a little bit of forward motion thanks to this backpack thingy that actually just tabs in. Overall, I love all of the stuff that you can do to it, however, or with it, maybe even do to it. But what I hate about it is the fact that this back piece just does not want to stay in place. That is the one thing that I don't like. And, you know, the swords have issues as well. But that's mainly in vehicle mode, so we're not there yet. So then, from here, let us move then straight into SAS comparison. Starting off, here we have him next to Agent Knight, the other crossover figure, and actually, the reason that I bought this guy, because when they announced the Agent Knight, I was like, I must have it. But when I learned that this thing was a real thing, I was like, I don't really need it. But then, you know, Agent Knight's gonna stand alone on the shelf, and I was like, you know, he needs a friend, so I'm gonna buy the Ninja Turtle one, because I like Ninja Turtles, and I also have bought the Sonic and Tails one. So Agent Knight is gonna get some more friends on their shelves as well. But here he is with him. Let's move you out of the way. And let's pull in the Masterpiece figure, just like what I did when I reviewed Agent Knight. I thought the Masterpiece would be good because of the size of the Ninja Turtle as well, especially in vehicle mode. It's actually a pretty big vehicle mode, and it's more like Masterpiece scaled vehicle mode. So here he is with Satswap. And then next up, here he is with Optimus Prime Commander class figure, Generation 1, leader of the free world. Looking very nice together. Yes, this Optimus is a little bit too small, because, you know, he's not a Masterpiece. He's just the Studio Series 1. But have you seen the price of that Masterpiece? That is $500 for MP44. And that idiot also has a backpack. So give me this thing any day of the week. So that is size comparison. Let me pull you in closer so we can get into that transformation. Alright, so let's get this party walloping guy in his vehicle modes. What you want to start off with is you want to take the backpack and just untab it and kind of get it out the way from everything. You can also rotate this piece here up just to get more clearance, because we're going to need all of the clearance. What you want to do then is you want to take the head and push it all the way down in. Getting this out can sometimes be difficult, which I would recommend is just push from down there. Then what you want to do is you want to take this and just rotate it up like so. Then what you want to do is you want to take these yellow pieces here, in here, come on, in here, and fold them out like so. Take them all the way out and just fold them up just to get them out of the way. Then what you want to do is, I already folded out the wheels, but what you want to do is you want to take the yellow piece here and rotate it down. Do the same thing on the other side. Tap the legs together like so. And untap the waist from in here. We'll leave that off to the side for now, because now we got to work on the annoyance of the arm. So what you want to do is you want to rotate the shoulder pad to the front. So that is what you want to do. First, get this roof above everything, and then push this under in here. Get it all the way pushed into the back as far as it wants to go. Then what you can do is you can, oh my goodness, you fell off. Did not realize that. My apologies, mi amor. Then what you want to do is you want to take these tabs here at the top and tab them into the slots over there. So just take this and tab it in, line everything up, rotate these things up as well. And then what you want to do is you want to take the arms here, rotate them backwards, fold down the fists and tab them together. I have already done that because I did screw up something in the transformation, and now I kind of have to redo that. So tab this together, like I said, fold the fist down like so. Then what you want to do is you want to take this and rotate it all the way back, and then these two gray tabs are going to slide into slots on the inside here on the back, and then the spoiler tabs right here on here are going to go into the slots here on the outside. So you basically just want to line this whole thing up. This basically gets it so that everything stays locked into place like so. Then after that, what you want to do is you want to basically get the wheel here and rotate this around and get it into place. Move it backwards on the hinge that is right here, if need be, and rotate this around and get it locked into place. Rotate this backwards as well. However, my copy doesn't really like doing this. For some reason, it just does not like. On this side, it does like. On this side, it works perfectly fine-ish. It doesn't work perfectly fine, but it works fine-ish. But on this side, it doesn't want to do that. But basically, you want to then push it back and then take this yellow piece here. And there's a hook tab right there that is going to slide in there. So you basically want to take this and just hook this whole thing in. Make sure that the wheel stays in its position. Push this in like so. And then on this side, it's going to be a little bit easier. But basically, just hook that in. Push it in like so. And then also fold in the heels. Forgot to do that. Fold in the heels. I mean, you could leave them folded out as like some kind of like exhaust or something like that. So there is something you can do with this. You can leave them out for exhausts if need be, but rotate them in like so. And then we're gonna do a little bit of a spin around, make sure that everything is in its place. You are not in your place, but now you are. And here we have the Party Wagon. So here we have the Party Wagon looking really nice outside of the hole, not necessarily tabbing together all that well. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but I must be doing something wrong, because like this side just doesn't really want to connect at all. This side kind of does. It's still holding on kind of for dear life, but this side is just like a bit of a mess, sadly enough. But overall, this thing looks really, really good. So let's take a look here. Also, something I forgot to talk about in robot mode, there's actually... Now you don't want to come off. On the inside here, you actually have a pizza boys for the turtles themselves. Let's see here. However, this thing sometimes likes to come off a little bit too easy. There we go. Just push it in there. And here we have the Party Wagon again. But overall here, look at the front, the turtle face that is right there. The lights, the glue that I kind of wish they used for Knight Rider. Windows as well, looking very nice. Also, let me just tap this back down in there. Then we got the side here. There is sadly enough a little bit of a gap because that is a hinge that is used. But we got the side window, we got like the shell thing, I guess. I don't know what this is supposed to be, like a 4-pack, I guess. And on the back here, we have kind of like a face. If you look at the two holes being eyes, it's kind of like a face. And then here on this side, it's just a bit of broken. We got the nice spoiler, the turtle shell thing at the top. Also, I know that for the thumbnail for both of these videos about this idiot, I actually used the 2003 TMNT logo. I did that on purpose, because I like that show the best. Except for season 6 and 7. I like to pretend that those don't exist because of, well, one, the art style change, which I'm not the biggest fan of. The turtles look fine. It's the humans that I have an issue with. And even then, season 6 is not necessarily that bad of a thing. But then, like season 7, they changed April O'Neil's design completely. And it's just, I'm not the biggest fan of it. So for me, that show ends with season 5. The lost season, actually, of the Ninja Tribunal. But overall, love that series. It is also my favorite Ninja Turtle series because of the fact that it doesn't have the stupid romance stuff that the 2012 series has. Because it's like with everyone. I mean, you have like Donatello and April. You got like Leonardo and Karai, I think her name was. But also Casey and April. It's just, it's a bit annoying in my opinion. I think that it is very annoying. At least the 2003 series doesn't have that. Which is why it wins. But overall, outside of the stupid romance plot, the 2012 series is also really good. I'm just not going to comment on the new stuff. Because if I do, I will be deemed something horrible, which I am not. April O'Neil just should not be black. But overall, this thing looks really nice. Also, these cannons can move up and down for shooting. I wonder if we're gonna get like a shredder figure, because that would be nice as well. Just to have a shredder figure to go along with the Party Wagon. But maybe that's just hopeful thinking. But then also you have, you know, everything else. Krang, I think it actually was. But maybe like a figure based on him. But that would just be like, what kind of vehicle would Shredder be? Like, what would he turn into? Because Shredder isn't really known to have like an actual vehicle. I mean, you got like that gigantic dome thing, but that's more like Krang than Shredder at all. Whatever, doesn't really matter. Anyway, let us look at the weapon storage next. With turning him over, and then in here at the legs, you can see that there are slight openings that the tabs on the sides can just slot right into, if you can line it up. Sitting behind the camera makes it difficult to line things up. And then also for the swords, as you can see right here at the front, there are 2 openings that the sword can go into. And there's also an opening here under the grill, I guess, where the sword will come out of. So what you can do, if you can do it, because sometimes these like to pop out, these sides, when I do it. But it can store like this. It turns out what I did the first time was I had the sides upside down, which meant that the sword kept popping the sides out and stuff like that. But basically, here you go, a little bit of storage for the weapon. So you got full-on weapon storage, and the other stuff is already inside. Look at the robot mode section for me when I stored everything in there. But overall, this thing is actually really, really fun, and obviously can roll. So then, let us move straight into size comparison. Starting off here, we have him next to Kit from Knight Rider. Looking very nice. I don't know if this is an accurate scale, but still, looking very nice together. And unlike Kit, I'm actually going to display the Party Wagon in robot mode instead of in vehicle mode, but with Kit, I can't do it any other way. Then next up here he is next to Masterpiece Sideswipe, the only Masterpiece figure that I know for a fact I legitimately own, and a figure that I have already reviewed on the channel. Same goes for Kit. You can check out that review as well, even though it was one of my earlier reviews. But still, get him out of here. And then finally here we have him next to Commander Class Generation 1 Optimus Prime. Looking really nice together. Once again, not in scale I don't think, but overall, still not too bad. So let's move you out of the way. Let me pull the party wagon in and let's get into the reverse transformation back into the robotic Mew. So let's get the party wagon back into the party wallop. So what you want to start off with is you want to come in here and untap these side pieces right here and rotate them all the way up just to get them out of the way while we do things with the rest of the figure. Then what you want to do is you want to come to the wheel and untab it from in here and rotate it backwards. Do the same thing on the other side. Also remove Leonardo and Raphael's weapons. I forgot they were still attached. My apologies. I'm missing a side. Where did that? It's somewhere in here. Just don't know where it is. We'll find it later on. So don't be scared if something falls off. Then what you want to do is you want to come to the back here and untap it, but also untap the legs from the arms. There you go. And there's the side. But you want to untap this whole thing, rotate it down, and then these two tabs here are going to slide into those slots. So just take it, slide that in, rotate this up in order to get it out of the way, and then you want to take this, rotate it up, and as you can see in here, there is a little bit of a groove, same on this side, that this is gonna sit inside of, and that is how this stays locked into place, like so. Then split the legs, rotate these side skirts back down, and here we have legs done, but he cannot really do the other, oh wait, no, and fold out the heels, always forget about the heels. And there you go. He kind of has a Gerwalk mode thingy that he can do now. He even has a face here at the front. I totally did not realize that you could do this, but you can do like a Gerwalk mode. Anyway, back onto the video. So you want to undo this back here and then rotate these arms down. Then what you want to do is you want to take the top here and untab it from here at the front and kind of get it a little bit out of the way so you can kind of get these shoulder pads out and rotate them off to the side. Also take the shoulder pad and rotate it with the arm so that it sits at the side. Take the hand thing and push it back in. Do the same thing on the other side like so. And there you go. We are almost done. Rotate this backwards and then come from in here at the bottom. Give it the head a little push so you can have an easier time putting it in its place. Then what you want to do with this top piece here is you want to double hinge it forward, and then these two tabs back here, this one and this one, are supposed to slide into the slots here and here. The problem is they don't sit in there, at least my copy doesn't. So you want to basically just take this and just slide that in like so, and also take these pieces here and rotate them in. Almost forgot to do that until I saw them. See, they don't want to tab in at all. No matter how far I get them in, they just don't want to stay in. And then finally, here we have, you know what, little bit of a finishing touch. You want to take these pieces here and rotate them around. And now we are done. We have the party wallop back, or Raphael, in his robot mood. So final thoughts on Raphael, or the party wallop as he is called. I think that this figure is actually really great. You can also just remove this. Let me just remove this here, the chest piece. There you go. But I think this thing is overall really great. I know people may not like the parts forming, but that's a different matter. The fact that you basically get all 4 turtles in one figure instead of getting 4 repaints is brilliant. Because Hasbro could have easily given us 4 different figures that you would have to pay basically leader class price point for each of them in order to have the full Ninja Turtle set. And I can guarantee you right now, I would not have picked up this set if they did that. But the fact that you can choose your favorite Ninja Turtle that you want, comes with all the weapons, all the masks, and even has like a naked mode, I guess you could say, is fantastic. I love that about this thing. This thing is definitely worth the money. I don't necessarily have many issues with this thing outside of my personal copy having some tabbing issues here and there, like this backpack thing, and also mainly these where were they? Oh yeah, these hip pieces. That whole system of tabbing that together is a bit of an issue. But outside of that, this thing is still a great purchase. You basically get 4 figures into one. You could say 5, but 4 figures into one. By the way, I will say this, there was a slight missed opportunity for the final head to be more like a metal head instead of being like Party Wallop. They could have just given us like a metal head. That would have been perfect. Just saying, that would have been absolutely perfect. But outside of that, this thing is fantastic, and I would highly recommend it if you are a fan of Ninja Turtles and you find this thing. If you find this thing on sale, buy it. It is a really fun figure. You can have a lot of playability with it. Yes, certain articulation segments here and there will be a little bit hampered because of the design, but it's actually a lot less than you think. Like I showed in the articulation segment, this guy has a lot of posing, and I'm happy that we had to wait this long to get this figure, and also Kit from Knight Rider, which I actually forgot to talk about. The fact that I've wanted that since I was a little kid. I've wanted a Kit Transformers crossover. However, I'm happy that we had to wait so long, because back in the day, crossovers were garbage. At least that was the general consensus around crossovers. They were garbage. So I'm happy that we had to wait that long, because it seems like they finally figured out how to do crossovers better. And this figure is a statement of that. So this has been my review of Transformers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Crossover Party Wallop, or the Turtle Squad, as you can call it as well, because you can turn this into each of the different turtles. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell, and comment your thoughts on this figure. And please check out my Let's Play channel, linked in the description and at the end of the video. I upload 3 videos every day of different games, but mainly Pokemon. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye!